Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Chloe, and today we're gonna laugh at some bigots. I'm not gonna lie, these are really funny. If you don't know who Vanessa Vokey is, consider yourself blessed. She is a terrible person who has been on YouTube for a while. She makes transphobic content and calls it feminism. It's a word for her. And I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to say it on YouTube. I might be wrong, but it's a pretty weird rule, huh? Before we get started, please give me a like and subscribe as it really supports my channel. I'm going to read some of Vanessa Vokey's posts. The first one actually comes from Instagram, and this was about Samantha Lux, who is a trans YouTuber. She does LGBT content. This is what she said to Sam. "You're not oppressed, Sam. You're terrified of me because I pointed out the magnitude, the mistakes you've made, and what a lie you live. I'll take a short break, more time to plan my wedding. You'll never be someone's wife. You will always be a man." So you can see why we don't like her. This is actually a Vanessa Vokey hate group. Thank you. Welcome. And that was a tweet. She took a screenshot of her own tweet, posted on Instagram, and captioned it, "You're a pathetic, scared little boy. You're not oppressed. You support burning witches, conversion therapy, SA committers in female prisons, destroying female sports, and more. Yet the second someone effectively calls you out on it, you have to get it removed because your fragile ego can't handle the truth. You're a mutilated and misogynistic gay man and you hate women. I am allowed to criticize you regardless of whatever oppression you claim. You are not oppressed, you are a coddled, spoiled baby." She says trans people aren't oppressed, even though Black trans women are the most vulnerable group in the United States. Trans women are oppressed. So a little backstory, she got her channel removed, or at least some of her videos. I think it's her channel because she was being transphobic. She made several videos about Samantha Lux just being transphobic and awful, so of course they got removed. They were full of things like this. Someone replied to her, "Trans people are oppressed. Cutting clips out of context isn't pointing out her mistakes. She will be a wife, whether you'll view her as one or not. And to just dehumanize someone by saying they'll never belong to someone in the way they long to be accepted is just pure hatred." And this guy replied, "Trans people are one of the safest demographics and have the same rights as everyone else. Being disliked because you force ideology down everyone's throat isn't oppression. Women protecting their sex-based rights isn't hatred. Biology doesn't care about your feelings." Okay, Ben Shapiro. Facts don't care about your feelings. First, saying trans people are one of the safest demographics is just a bold-faced lie, and we all know it. And have the same rights as everyone else. Actually, here in Arkansas, you can get denied healthcare for being trans, so that's not true. And trans women and trans girls are no longer allowed to play sports in Arkansas, and trans youth are no longer allowed to transition under the age of 18, including puberty blockers, which are reversible. They are not permanent. They don't do anything to your body. They just stop puberty from happening. Puberty blockers don't have long-term effects, but puberty does. Maybe if someone had puberty blockers, they wouldn't need chest surgery. And another thing that they always seem to just ignore is that you cannot get surgery as a minor for transitioning. Nobody's doing that. People aren't doing that. The only thing they're doing is puberty blockers and hormones. It's really not a big deal. Another weird Vanessa fan says, "These people have big tech, majority of institutions, and talking heads on their side. Celebrate when their adversaries get ran off the internet and have the audacity to act like they are oppressed. The whole society is coddling them." No truth. No truth in that statement, even a little bit. Another Vanessa fan. Her fans are terrible, as we would assume, because I mean, we saw what she said. "Thank goodness Canadian women are starting to fight back against white privileged westernized males who believe being a woman is a thought in a man's head. Go appropriate the identities of Black men and see what happens. Only women seen as subservient and controllable by abusing men." Excuse me, what? She also tweeted that she made a patch and it says "Be kind" with a B on it. Vanessa Vokey, who made hate videos about trans people, made a patch that says "Be kind." You're a pathetic, scared little boy. Be kind. What? Jail. So there was an article about a 15-year-old transgender son going through, it says through menopause, which is a very weird way to say that, because I don't think that's accurate. But Vanessa shared it and said, "My opinion is this mother is a failure and her daughter will hate her in 10 years. Those are some loaded words for people you don't know. And one of her fans said, "She should be prosecuted for allowing a child to irreversibly damage themselves like this. The fact she's blasting this on social media tells you all you need to know. It's like a vegan cat. Everyone knows who is making the decisions." No. Kids aren't transitioning because their parents want them to. Absolutely not. And saying she should be prosecuted for supporting her child? Jail. Again. And again, puberty blockers are completely reversible. Vanessa Vokey also shared the article from Time about Elliot Page and said, well, first she dead named her and said, "Should look in the eyes of women whose breasts were amputated because of life-threatening cancer and tell them how she intentionally and unnecessarily made that life-changing decision. I don't imagine she'd get the response she is receiving from Hollywood and the media. In both cases, it was for health. Transitional healthcare is healthcare." A TikToker made a TikTok about being demisexual, and one of Vanessa's fans shared it and said, "A reminder that demisexual means you want to know and like the person before you screw them. Like how screwed up is our youth's sexual culture when they actually feel the need to create sexualities to identify as I actually want to know the person before I have sex with them. That is not what demisexual is, and this is what everyone says if you bring it up. I consider myself demisexual, I'm on the A spectrum, and this is constantly what people say to me. And it's really annoying. So like, that's just a preference. Most people want to know someone before they have sex with them, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. I do not experience that attraction until I know someone and have feelings for them. It's not even just that. For me, I'm actually like repulsed by it. No, that's not normal sexuality. Being repulsed by sex is not normal sexuality. But whatever. It's just a preference. Another tweet by Vanessa Vokey, hashtag International Women's Day. Happy Adult Human Female Appreciation Day. Special love to all my fellow super straight and amazing super lesbian women worldwide. And she made an embroidery piece that says super straight. And she looks like a dumbass. So here's another fan. If you're a minor with preferred pronouns, the predator's job is half done. That is vile. They also said if your parents know nothing about how or why you've adopted preferred pronouns, the predator is more than halfway there. If your kid has preferred pronouns you know nothing of, I don't know how to put this elegantly, but you've failed miserably. I think the failure would be that they're not supporting their children. 100%. I took a screenshot of people who liked a transphobic tweet. These are Vanessa's fans. They all have like hashtag I stand with JK Rowling in their bio. It was just a screenshot and I posted it. And these people lost their minds. Trans exclusionary radical feminist dedicate their lives to being transphobic. All they do, like the ones that are on Twitter, they sit on Twitter all day long and like talk to each other and say these disgusting things, and they're constantly starting fights with strangers. Oh, they were coming at me. But one person disagreed that, like I said that these people were transphobic, and they said loaded language condenses complex situations, labels them, and reduces them to cliches. The simplistic label then governs how a person thinks in any situation. Consider if something is really phobic, irrational, and hateful, or if it simply challenges a religious belief. And being trans doesn't challenge a religious belief. What? Transphobic. Phobic doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. Yeah, phobia means fear, like irrational fear. But transphobic does not mean you're scared of trans people. It means you don't like them. And you're hateful towards them. You discriminate against them. I just think it's funny because his comment to me saying I had loaded language, I feel like that could be applied to literally every single one of these tweets we've seen so far. Oh my gosh, this woman, this was so funny, so funny. I don't even know if I can get through this. I found your description of me as a TERF both offensive and inaccurate. I have reported you to Twitter. I expect a written apology for this dangerous action. Ma'am. What? A written apology. Whew, she's wild. Okay, here's another thing that a lot of them do. This guy was like, define a transphobe. I said, Google is free. He said, I know that's silly. What is your definition? Plus, why is saying the blindingly obvious a hate crime? Everyone knows some men like dressing up in frillies and wearing makeup. They've been doing it for centuries. You're not special. I don't know why, but transphobes always ask for your definition. They kept doing this to me. I was like, you can literally just look up the definition because that definition is the same as my definition because my definition is not wrong. But they always gotta ask, and I don't know why. They're always just like, I need your words. And then this person, this was such a weird response. They just said, woman, female, cervix, period, breastfeeding. And I said, person, woman, man, camera, TV. This guy said, I would like to say that you have ugly hair. Where? You don't have to lie. It's okay. You can think I'm pretty. I don't remember what I said exactly, but this guy said, saying that trans person shouldn't be allowed in women's space, in woman's space. This is some great grammar. It doesn't imply they don't deserve right. Would you think a trans man would be safe in male jail? And this woman said, exactly. Unfortunately, they have decided to talk down and insult me. The usual tactics, I don't fall for it. I'm for trans people having rights, yet I don't believe that has to be at the expense of female rights. So you don't believe in trans people having rights. You don't even want them to use the correct bathroom or play sports. And she said, any decent person sometimes has to put the rights of others before their own, yet they can only see one side. I let people live as they wish, but in some instances, the rights of others come before feelings. And I said, tell me where I'm putting my rights first above other women. And she said, in many ways, saying if I don't accept trans women in female sports and every space for females, that I am transphobic and a TERF. We all need to work together sometimes. Someone else's rights are more important, but you resort to insults instead. So I'm assuming she thought I was trans. Otherwise, what she's saying does not make any sense at all. So I said, I'm putting trans rights first, so by your logic, I am a decent person. Putting other rights before my own. Don't be a TERF and you won't get called a TERF, Miss Sis. And the other guy said, he quoted me and said, I am a decent person, putting others' rights before my own. This is so conceited. Bro, what? She literally said, a decent person would do that. And I said that is what I'm doing. And then I'm conceited? I think they're so funny. If you noticed, it was really easy to get a lot of dumb things out of them. It was fun. My friend at Magical Marley, I will put this tweet up so you can see it. She sent me this little thread. It's short. I promise, I know this is getting long. A trans military will further weaken US. There are reasons for standards. When you're wounded dead due to social justice over science, maybe then you'll get it. China is going all in and revamping their males to Superman, but do you? Hashtag Biden Harris America. None of that made sense, but someone said, trans people are strong. I could props punch your lights out. I took karate for four years, so meet me behind the local Wendy's. I'll be waiting. And my friend said, transphobes are inconsistent too. I bet they would use this to argue that we're dangerous men, even though I'm just a woman with a birth defect, and trans men don't even want to go into the girls' bathroom. Then when talking about military, suddenly trans people are weak. And that's a really good point to bring up. They are constantly calling them predators, and then they turn around and call them weak. So what is it? I hope you found this video funny. I know I thought a lot of it was funny, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it all the way here, tell me, what's your favorite flavor of Gatorade? Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.